In today's video, I want to talk with you about how to consistently save more than 25 to 30% of your income on a monthly basis. Now, the video today, I'm going to teach you the exact steps that I take with myself and with my partner, and also with my clients to help them make sure that they can achieve this month over month. Hi everyone, my name is Whitney Morrison. I am a certified financial planner, the director of financial advice at LegalZoom, and the founder of Holistic Money Mapping, which is a financial system that will help you transform your life with money. Now, before we get started, I want to talk about why is it important to save on a monthly basis. And for me, there are two main reasons that I encourage people to prioritize saving in their life. Number one is financial peace, and for me, this is absolutely the most important reason to save on a monthly basis. So as humans, our most basic needs are safety and security. If you're not working on an emergency fund or a debt payoff plan or investment strategy, you may feel vulnerable or afraid or worried about your finances. And a lot of people that I talk to experience this. So when you can set up a consistent saving strategy or a consistent debt payoff plan, you are showing yourself that you have the responsibility and that you have the trust in yourself to continuously provide security and safety and protection. The experience of peace in my life is one of the most important. It's more important than driving a nice car. It's more important than living in a huge house. I just want to feel comfortable. And I think a lot of you can relate to this too. So number one is financial peace. Number two is financial freedom. And this is really just taking financial peace one step further. And once again, this isn't about becoming a billionaire or having like a Lamborghini. Financial freedom is really about living a life that you are free from the stress of your money, and you're also able to live in accordance with your highest values. Now, for some of you, it may take a little bit of time to get there. So you may have to take some risk on yourself financially. And in order for you to feel comfortable taking risk on yourself financially, you need to have some kind of financial security and safety. It also could mean spending your money and investing your money in the things that you care about most. So that could be causes or organizations or people. But the more financial power that you have in your life, the more money that you have, the more you're able to live a life that's truly in alignment with your values. So you can perhaps take on less demanding work that pays you less to pursue your passion. Although I firmly believe that everyone has the ability to take what they love and what they care about and turn it into a full-fledged money-making part of their life. So, as I said in this video, I'm going to teach you how to start saving on a monthly basis. And the first thing you need to think about is my peace and freedom formula. And the reason why that's important is because you need to actually go back to both of those two things as you're confronted with all the other opportunities to spend money and go off of your plan. All right, so the first step to consistently saving more than 25% of your money on a monthly basis is to write down your numbers. This may not be something that is revolutionary, but I promise you, knowing your numbers is critical to your success in consistently saving. So I'm a very visual person. What I like to do is I have a big calendar. At the top of my calendar, I write my total net income for the month, which is really just the amount of money that actually hits my bank accounts on a monthly basis from my W-2 employer. If you are self-employed, then what I suggest doing is writing down your projected income for the month after you've saved for your taxes. The next thing I like to do is I like to go through each day of the month and write down which bills are going to be deducted from my accounts. So for you, my suggestion is to go through all of your accounts, your credit cards, your savings accounts, anything that you use to pay for your bills on a monthly basis, and document that on a calendar for the month. Now, this is going to get easier as you start to do this month over month because a lot of your bills are going to be reoccurring. But this is hugely important for me because I keep this calendar on my desk, I look at it frequently, and I can understand where exactly my money is going on a monthly basis. All right, now after you have written down all of your fixed monthly expenses on your calendar, I want you to figure out what percentage of your net income is going towards your fixed monthly expenses. Now, for those of you that aren't into math, no worries, I'll tell you how to do this. So the first step is to add up all of your fixed monthly expenses, so everything that you wrote down on your calendar. If you included any annual expenses or any quarterly expenses, my suggestion is for you to break those down and reflect those numbers as a monthly total. All right, as soon as you have your fixed monthly expenses total, I just want you to divide that by your net income. And what this is going to give you is the percentage of money that you spend from your net income on your fixed expenses. Now, once you have this percentage, you actually have a lot of information about your financial life. And it's also going to help you understand what you need to do to be successful at saving at least 25% of your income on a monthly basis. So, the ideal amount of money that you should be spending on your fixed monthly expenses is 40% of your net income. Now, if you're looking at your percentage and you're like, holy shit, I am way over that, or yes, I'm way under that, either way, you will get some feedback. So if you are over, here are some tips for you to reduce your fixed monthly expenses on a monthly basis. The two main categories in your fixed monthly expenses are likely your housing and your transportation. Now remember, as I'm giving you suggestions for both of these categories, remember the beginning of the video. You have to prioritize first and foremost financial peace and financial freedom above all else to be able to consistently save money. So keep that in mind as I start suggesting things that you may not like to hear. All right, so let's begin with your housing. The first thing I suggest is always to house hack. This is the number one way to reduce your housing expenses. So whether you own your home or whether you rent your home, there are several ways to reduce your rent or reduce your mortgage so you don't have such a large chunk of your money going towards your housing. So you can either rent out a room on Airbnb, you can rent out your whole place on Airbnb, or you can get a roommate. If you're somebody who's like, no way in hell do I want roommates, my suggestion is to think about, okay, how can you rent out your place when you're gone? How can you start to earn any kind of income on your home? This is the mindset that you have to take on if you want to start consistently saving money on a monthly basis. Now, your transportation, I'm going to say something completely radical, and my suggestion is to get rid of your car. Now, I know some of you are like, what? No, I can't get rid of my car. And maybe that is true for some of you, but for me, I live in Austin, Texas, a place that does not have great public transportation. I just got rid of my car. And the reason why I got rid of my car is because I don't really need it that much anymore. I took proactive steps to make sure that I didn't have to have a life that was heavily dependent on a car. Number one, I talked to my employer about staying at home. I wanted to work from home on a weekly basis when I could, and my employer was incredibly supportive in that decision. Now for you, you never know until you ask. It's so amazing when I suggest these different financial hacks to people and they throw up all these excuses and blockers before they actually take the step. Here's my suggestion. Give it a try, have the conversation before you automatically think that the answer is no. You would be surprised on how much you can actually achieve in your life, how much people will actually bend according to what you'd like to see in your life or help accommodate what you want for your life as long as you proactively work to create it. Now, if you can't completely get rid of your car, I totally get that too, but there are some other things that you can do. One, get rid of the lease. You do not need to be paying an endless monthly lease on a car that you really probably can't afford in the first place. I know some of you are like, oh, but I always really like to have a nice car. And listen, I really like to have a nice car too, but you know what I care about more than my nice car? Financial peace and financial freedom. I'm just going to keep hitting those 2 points. It's like, I'm going to keep hitting that drum. Peace, freedom, peace, freedom. That was weird. Anyways, another thing that you can do is if you live in a household with multiple people, if you're house hacking or if you're partnered, you can always try a one-car household. And the way that you can do that is just like what I said, split a car. And I think that this is actually a really great solution for a lot of people to be able to reduce their transportation expenses. Another way to reduce your transportation costs is to start using public transportation. So yeah, that's like buses, trains, renting a bike or buying a bike. That's something that's actually been a huge benefit to my life, is having a bike that I can use. It not only gives me exercise, but I also don't have to use my car as much. So getting smart and thinking about, okay, what are the ways that I can reduce my transportation expenses will help you lower those fixed monthly expenses, to lower the percentage of money that you're putting towards your expenses so you can have a higher percentage of money going towards the things that are actually going to give you what? Financial peace and financial freedom. Exactly. All right, so let me give you a quick recap of what we've done so far. Step number 1 is to write down all of your expenses on a big calendar. Step number 2 is to add up all of your monthly fixed expenses. Step number 3 is to figure out how you can reduce your fixed monthly expenses to be no more than 40% of your net income. All right, now let's look at step number 4, which is to give yourself a spending allowance. Now, I suggest you do this on a paycheck by paycheck basis. So what you want to do is every time you get paid, take out 30% of your paycheck to go towards your habit expenses. Now, what are your habit expenses? They are everything that are not your fixed expenses. So there are things like food, gas, shopping, entertainment, all of the things that you like to do on a monthly basis that aren't your bills. Now, there are different ways that you can manage this daily spending allowance. Some people like to take out cash, like real dollar bills, and use the envelope system where they have one envelope for each category of habit spend that they have. So maybe one for going out to eat, one for buying groceries, one for entertainment, and one for shopping. And then they just spend directly from these envelopes, which allows them to stay on budget. Another thing that you can do is just have one checking account that you put your 30% of your paycheck in on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis, however you get paid. And then what you can do is that you can actually monitor that account balance until your next paycheck to make sure that you don't overspend. Now, instead of doing just a regular budget where you look back at your spending expenses and you determine how much money you should be spending, this is actually going to be the inversion of that. So you will give yourself an amount of money, and then you could build a backwards budget where you can say, okay, I know I have $300 or $500 the next 2 weeks, and this is how I plan to spend this money. And what this is going to help you do is this is going to help you not overspend. So if you're able to spend 40% of your net income on your fixed expenses, if you're able to spend 30% of your net income on your daily expenses, then that leaves 30% of your income for additional debt payoff, for emergency savings goals, for investing goals, and any other savings goal that you may have. Then you will consistently, month over month, hit your 25% or above savings goal. And here is an additional perk. This savings goal of 30% does not include any kind of 401k contribution that you're putting away. So if you have 5, 10, 15% also going towards your 401k, you get to add that onto your net income savings percentage. And that will give you your approximate total savings goal. This is the way to manage your money to ensure that you are consistently saving over 25% of your income on a monthly basis. If you like this video and found this content helpful, please make sure to like, subscribe, and get notifications to my future videos. It really does help the channel to grow when you do these things. Lastly, if you haven't already, make sure to check out my money mapping structure video. In this video, I talk about how to use multiple checking and savings accounts to help you manage your money. Also, you need to watch my 3 Dimensions of Wealth video. This will help you get the right money mindset to not only manage your budget, but also increase your income and align your life to your highest values. All right, guys, I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you next Monday when I put out my video.